Hey, I'm Tom,
And I'm Josh.
and you're just watching the Blockcast.
Where Lego fans click.
Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode in the ultimate LEGO Leaderboard.
Board.
Board, our ship. Because today we're going to talk about a pirate ship. And Josh will
Captain
tell you
Jack
more.
Sparrow's pirate ship, to be specific.
So, today, I don't know if I could talk like a pirate the whole episode.
No, I don't think we should.
No, no. Hey, Josh, what's a pirate's favorite letter?
Most people think it'd be R, but it'd be the C they
Ah,
love.
correct. R. Oh my God. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Tom, what be a pirate's favorite restaurant?
Oh, I know. It's be Arby's.
I may think it'd be Arby's, but it's actually Long John Silver.
All right. All right. Oh. With that, everybody, welcome back to the Blockcast. Today we're talking, if we couldn't understand us, we're going to be doing the Ultimate Lego Leaderboard.
Board.
And we're going to be talking about a very famous pirate ship. Well, it's called Captain Jack's pirate ship, but in theory it has another name, but it wasn't named that, and we'll get to that. But let me share my screen to show you the set that we're going to be discussing today. Welcome to Captain Jack Sparrow's pirate ship. Set number 10365 goes for $379.99. 2,862 pieces with 8 minifigures. This is a fun one. Have we seen a ship like this before, Josh?
We have. Lego has previously released what at the time was called the Black Pearl Lego many years ago. It was part of the original line of the Pirates of the Caribbean Lego sets. The original was much smaller than this newest iteration. The original had only 804 pieces. So this one is quite a bit larger, has a lot more detail. But just the interesting part is that name. It has foregone the Black Pearl name and it has just gone Captain Jack Sparrow's pirate ship.
Couldn't tell you why.
I don't know.
It's very interesting that when I walked into the Lego store, when I first saw this model on display at the Lego store, I was in the downtown Disney Lego store in Disneyland in California, and I said, "Well, why
Seems
don't they
fitting.
just call it the Black Pearl like it's supposed to be called?" Couldn't tell you. Um, One thing I have to introduce to you, to all those that might be new to the Ultimate Lego Leaderboard.
Board.
Thank you. The Ultimate Lego Leaderboard is a series of 15 categories. You can take a look at the category and the description of each category. I'm not going to go through them all. You can pause the video and read them. But this is how we determine our 600 points. I could give it up to 300. Josh could give it up to 300, giving it a total point of 600 points. At which point the set then gets moved to the Ultimate Lego Leaderboard. And within our
Board.
last video, we talked about the Dungeons and Dragons Red Dragon Tail set. And that took second place with 404 points. So we got to see how Captain Jack does today. And sometimes we realize that we can talk too much. So we've predetermined some categories that we've already decided to rank. But we're going to talk about some other ones here as well today. Remember, if you want to go ahead and follow along and write your Ultimate Lego Leaderboard, follow along with our categories and give us your point total at the bottom with any comments that you might have today.
Yes.
But back to
I'm
Captain Jack.
excited to jump into this one and to talk about this and see how this ranks. I have some ideas of how this is going to go, but I'm interested to hear some of your thoughts on this one, Tom.
Uh, Today, well, so do I like Pirates of the Caribbean? The attraction, absolutely. An original nostalgic, the last attraction Walt ever worked on physically and got to ride before he passed away, before any guests got to ride it. Love it. Love how they translated it to film. The films, probably up to the first three, four and five were very okay. They weren't my favorite, but they were good. Um, the first three were like exceptional. I loved them. I love going to see them in theaters. They were great. And when they created the sets were so much fun to play with. When I saw that they were releasing another set, I was also very excited to see said set, in which we get to our design element of the set for today. And a lot of this, I think a lot of this, not just for me, but for also Josh, we're going to be comparing it to the previous sets that were designed in terms of Black Pearl.
Yeah,
We also have
for
to
sure.
take into account its own design here as
Yep.
well. For me, I thought it was done very tastefully. I thought they put a good amount of effort into this one compared to the last one. A lot of this is solely independent. Remember, they're not releasing this with a release of an anniversary or a movie or some type of promotion or television show. This just came from Disney and Lego as a partnership to release a Pirates of the Caribbean set.
Yep. Which
The,
is it's interesting, but it speaks to the power of the brand that from when this was released, it had been consistently sold out. Uh, and it was very hard to find in stores. It was very hard to find online. Since it has been so long since the last version, and since this one is so much bigger and more detailed than the previous iterations, there's a lot of demand for it. And I think not just for Pirates of the Caribbean fans, I think for regular pirate fans as well, because it is a sleek looking ship. Take away the IP from it, and this is still a very great looking pirate ship. When you add in the elements, some of the story elements and the captain's cabin, and then the minifigures on top of that, it's great. The fact that it has a removable base that you can take it off so you can play with it, but then you can put it back on the shelf and it looks great on the shelf. Um, the the design element of the interactive components where you can turn a knob on the back and the cannons come out all at one time, not just independently, um, is a really, really cool feature. Some hidden details inside. The design of this is a massive win, I think. I really do want to point out also the rounded bottom. A lot of the Lego pirate ships don't have the rounded bottom. So you can see in this photo that Tom's showing, the base in the back is that bottom, right? So not studs on top. You can place it on the shelf or play with it without that, so it looks like it's floating in the water. But when you put it on the stand, then all of a sudden it's out of the water. You get that full the shapely hull. I just call the ship shapely.
hmm.
Uh, we're gonna move past that really quickly. The design's very good.
So, with that said in mind, Josh, what's your
I'm
points?
gonna go ahead and for design, I'm gonna give it a 17.
Wow, you went very high.
I did.
Okay.
Because
That's
again,
high of
comparing
me.
it to what we've seen before, the details there, for play and display, you have options for both. There's some components of the display or the design that we'll talk about that knock those 3 points off, but I think this is a great set.
I agree with you. I think compared to like the previous model, they put a lot more effort and time into this. I do like the rounded bottom. You can see that you can remove the display stand via Technic brick, which is very nice. That it's not necessarily built into the bottom where you can handle it, but you're not going to necessarily get that rounded when you are playing. Speaking of play, I was a child who put every single thing that could float in the bathtub. If someone out there does have this model that wants to put it in a bathtub to see if it is floatable, it will raise my design and playability score. But I don't think it'll float in a bathtub. But it'll be pretty cool if you could put Technic in this and make a little motor and make it float around. That'd be pretty fun.
No, I think it would be a very accurate depiction of the very first scene in the movie when Captain Jack Sparrow arrives to the dock and his entire ship is completely submerged.
The one thing that I really like, don't get me wrong, it is a pirate ship. We've seen pirate ships from Lego before. It's hard to modify or change a pirate ship without color. At the end of the day, this is a pirate ship. We've seen many pirate ships from Lego before. You have to take a look at the sails as well. I'm going to bring them up, and Josh didn't necessarily bring them up as well. He did and he did not. Um, if you look at previous models of pirate ships from Lego before, they always put breadth in the sails. And what that means is that there's a curvature to the sails to express movement. It shows movement. So when this is displayed, it shows movement. In terms of design, the way they designed it is they designed these sails flat. So they're not catching wind. They are at a standstill. So from a display standpoint, we'll talk about that in a little bit, I guess. But from a design standpoint, if they wanted breath in their sails, they did everything in their power not to have breath in their sails. They could have repositioned the Lego to give them breath in the sails. I like the idea that you can play and display. I also like that they incorporated the round bottom, but the big thing for me as well is that the cannons are functional and they roll out via a knob on the back of the ship. So not only do you have the design element in terms of playability, displayability, but also there's functionality, but a large functionality. We've seen the in terms of the rudder being turned before. We've seen that in the Endurance, if I am correct with that. The Endurance
Yep.
had that ability as well. It did
Which I
not
believe
have
is still one of our top five sets. So
it did not have movable cannons, and all one, two,
no.
three, four, five, six cannons on each side of the ship roll in
There's
it.
eight on each side,
Eight
16 cannons total.
16 movable cannons, including 8 minifigures that can all fit on the deck, and includable place in the back for the captain. This is a wonderfully designed and thought through set. So there's certain elements that I like. The only thing that as well, the cannons are too oversized for the ship, in my opinion. But based on the time period, it being wooden and the metal part being at the bottom, it might have been accurate to the size, but I don't believe the anchors are size appropriate. I think they could have gone with just standard Lego anchor, but that's just me being picky. So for design, I am going to give it a 15. I was long-winded with that one.
A lot to talk about.
We have build experience. It is a Lego pirate ship. I gave it a 7 because it's not much more different besides the cannon portion on the interior. So that's why I gave it a 7.
Yeah. I ranked it higher because it does have some of those components that was a little bit beyond what I've seen in pirate ships before. The build experience of how the different components connect, because it's not fully modular, but it has modular elements, especially in how you can remove the captain's cabin. There was a lot of neat neat ways to build the angles and things like that for this, because also the sides are not completely parallel to each other. They come at an angle, so they're again, it's a shapely ship. Uh, so that part of the build I liked. However, repetition. There were 16 cannons. That's a lot of cannon building. The sails as well. Each one of the masts was basically the same design. So there was a lot of repeat parts of the build, but where I deducted the most points are from I don't know in ship terms what they're called, but the lines, the rope elements that go up. They look cool. However, they're not perfectly sized. So yeah, if you go back just a couple pictures there, that one,
There.
uh, what, I don't know, whatever. But they don't stay perfectly straight. So they don't have a kind of precision to their look. You can kind of see it there, and they buckle and different things like that. So trying to make it look really good was difficult for me, and that took away some of the build element for me because they would twist and if they were bent in the package, they kind of stayed bent. It's more of I don't like that element, but so the build experience I give it a 10.
10. I'm going to talk a little bit about playability. I like so in a perfect world, the moment one of these types of pirate ships can float in a bathtub, it gets a 20 from me. Hands
Noted.
down. Has to float, has to be functional, has to be playable. I do like that the base is removable, so you can have the ability to have the rounded base. You could also take off the bottom so you can slide it and add wheels if you choose to, because it is playable for those that want it to be playable. Also, um, the minifigures and the way you have the longboat and the way you have the component in the back and the cannons come out, it has a lot of playable functionality.
Yes.
It's not just for display ability. It is also meant to be played with. And as a $379 set, you could also play with this while you watch the movies, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So for me, the playability is there. It was in mind, especially with, sorry for the fast movement, everyone, this particular section there. So when you can remove it from the base, it was intended to be played with.
Mhm.
And that's what I really like about it. So you can have adventures and play with your other ships and have those epic carpet voyages, if you know what I mean. So for
And
playability, I'm going to give it a solid 16.
yeah. And two, we mentioned the cannons coming out. We mentioned, the rudder changes. There are some other doors in the interior that we don't see in any of these pictures that you can open up, and there's some bottles of rum, so the rum is not always gone, apparently. Maybe they're empty bottles. I don't know. But there's fun story elements as well, that you can discover as you're building and as you're playing with it. So that just continues to help. Barbosa has two faces. So when he's seen in the moonlight, and he turns into the skeletal, so you can again tell those elements of the story. He even has the cursed pirate, the Aztec treasure. So these are great details. That help you play out the story as you're watching the movie, as Tom said. So I'm going to go ahead and rank the playability pretty high as well. I'm going to say 16.
Value for money. Now, I wanted to talk about this in terms of it being a pirate ship, it being an IP that's not necessarily currently active, but seeks to be active, if you know what I mean. Um, you have a lot of fans that like the attraction from the theme parks. You have a lot of fans that like the movies themselves. So there are a lot of people that could have eyes on this set that would like to purchase it. You also have fans of Lego that want to add to their collection, like Josh, who also wants to add to his pirate ship collection.
Yes.
You want every iteration. But the thing about Pirates of the Caribbean, if you follow Brick Economy, if you're not, you should. This is from the reselling monetarily perspective, not the set necessarily the displayability or the playability, is that Pirates of the Caribbean has been known, all the ships, including the minifigures, to carry value after built and kept in box. So, in terms of value for money based on previous trends with other ships and the detailing of this ship and the minifigures that come along with it as well, I think it will retain value for a long time, whether you keep it in the box or you display it. The majority of pirate ships, especially in the Lego lines, especially with Pirates of the Caribbean, that are purchased by resellers are for the sales. The sales go for big money right now, especially the older ones because people want to make their own ships, and the only way to get them is through sets like this. So a lot of people will part these sets out, make them harder to find, which makes the value of the set itself go up because it won't be on shelves for very long because of the price point. And right now, there's no intellectual property to move it. So I don't see this being probably on shelves for longer than a year, year and a half before it is removed for something else Disney related because it's taking up another space. So that is
Hopefully, the
why
Flying Dutchman.
that's what Josh wants. And I keep thinking of SpongeBob. I digress. So value for money, I give it a 14 because I do think overall it'll hold its value and it'll gain
Yeah.
value.
For me, I said 13. It comes out to about 13 cents per piece, which is high but standard for an IP, and Disney particularly. It's still a very good value. It was, a it took me. I did watch the movies while building this, which is always something I like to do. I like to pair it. It did take me three of the pirate movies to finish it.
That's the
So
perfect
it was,
amount.
it's a pretty lengthy, build. So you are, if you're considering how much enjoyment or time you get out of it while, for the money, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, so nostalgia and personal attachment. Josh, you're going to begin this one.
Yeah. Uh, It's high. I think we could probably assume that based on previous Blockcast episodes. We know that I like nautical sets and builds. So the fact that it's a ship already checks a box. The fact that it's Pirates of the Caribbean checks a box. The fact that it is a Lego pirate ship, just in the pirate theme, checks a box. This is 100% a set that is like insta buy for me. If they announce that there's another ship coming out, that's like a day one. Pirates of the Caribbean, for what it's worth, yes, not all of the movies, are the same level of quality, but it's one of those franchises that I'm excited for any new adventure in that universe. The nostalgia, the personal factor is very high. Um, it's 19.
19 for Josh. Wow, you went high. For me, I love Pirates of the Caribbean, and I'm going to be specific again. Probably the first three, four and five. I've seen them. They're okay. They're not my favorite. I think it falls a little bit away. I am more of a fan of the attraction than I am of the film. So the big thing for me is that this is not necessarily a part of this is a part of the film franchise. So I do have a love for it. It's not as probably as strong as my love like for Marvel, but I enjoy the storyline and I think it's very strong. The set follows incorporation with that. I would look forward to more sets related to the attraction. Imagine if they do scenes from the attraction. That'd be pretty fun. I digress. It's a hope, not a want. Well, it's also kind of a want. I digress. But for me, the nostalgia is there. I think that they did this very well. The characters are relatable, they're detailed. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a 15. And our next category are minifigures. Josh, tell us about these minifigures.
So the Pirates of the Caribbean minifigures across the theme, from the start to now, have been very strong. These are very specific characters that are unique. Their costumes are unique. It's not something you could easily swap out. So in that regard, for these, all of the molds are new, as far as the character design. You can see Jack Sparrow. He's got printed legs, showing his boots. He's got the shawl and part of his jacket. Barbossa has printed legs. Elizabeth has the dress element. Marty's shorter. First off, the characters that are included are fun. Of these, I don't believe we've seen Mr. Cotton and his parrot. We haven't seen Angelica. We haven't seen Marty before. It's different versions of Jack. It's different versions of Barbossa, of Elizabeth. I think Will and Gibbs, maybe we have seen them in the other sets almost looking exactly the same. I think Gibbs's hair might be a little different, but if you know for sure, let us know in the comments. I'm not a big minifig historian, but it's a strong selection. Would I have liked to have seen more characters? Yeah, absolutely. Rigatti and Pinsel, I think, would have been a lot of fun. Hello, Puppet. To bring
Olay.
some of those iconic characters from the original, and kind of complete the core cast across the theme. But this is a very good selection, and it's not shown in this picture here. I would the figurehead mast is also technically a minifigure because it's full. You could take her off of the front, and she would be a minifig. Um, with the angel wings and stuff, I think is pretty cool. Kind of a ghostly bronze-ish statue looking thing, which, authentic or not to the series, is a pretty neat minifigure on its own right.
And what would you ultimately give it, Josh?
From minifigure perspective, I'm going to give it 16.
Okay. I look at it a little bit differently. I look at it in the same way that I would look at in terms of the value for money. And this is where most of the value for money comes from as well, besides the sales in a set like this. Um, People like not necessarily like so you have your hardcore Lego fan, but then you have your hardcore Pirates of the Caribbean fan that whenever merchandise comes out for said thing, whether it be Lego or not, they're going to go ahead and find it and buy it because there's not a lot of it right now besides theme park related materials. So they're going to come out and they're going to buy really this set, not just because it's Captain Jack's pirate ship, but really they want the intellectual property characters. So I think what really carries the category for me in minifigures is their value. I do like that the Jack has print on legs and Barbossa has print on legs. Um, but there's for me in terms of elements that we've seen from the previous Captain Jack's pirate ship, Black Pearl. Who was the captain on the Black Pearl for the last iteration? Why
Um,
why have I lost his name? Had
Davy
tentacles.
Jones.
Davy Jones. That's it. Davy Jones is probably one of the most valuable, probably the most valuable minifigure of the Pirates of the Caribbean Lego line.
Hands down, yes.
But the elements within that minifigure is what makes it valuable, but also the scarcity. In these, you have the pirate that is the parrot that is multicolored, the print on pants, but it's detailed, it's intellectual property. People are going to buy this. They are going to gain value, but not like Davy Jones. So for me, the minifigures are highly detailed, highly collectible. I'd love to add them to my collection, but for me, it's the idea that it's we've seen characters, but nothing that really blows my mind or stands out. So I'm going to give it an 11. And our next category is innovation. Are these innovative pirate ships, Josh?
It's a pirate ship out the box. There is some innovation in the whole design, having that bottom part removable. That's not something that we've seen in any version of the pirate ship before. But as far as the masts and the sails, that's all the same.
Yeah.
Having the kind of sculpted hull pieces for the upper part, and there's not much differentiation in that in other versions. There's a little bit of innovation in how the cannons come out. That's not an element that we've seen before to have
Yeah.
those kind of interactive elements. The rudder, we have seen that. The design, again, the curves, the angles and stuff is a little bit unique from other pirate ships, but it really is just kind of truly it's a pretty standard Lego pirate ship.
Yeah.
But it with the cannons, I gave it a 10.
Yeah. And I went ahead and I gave it an 8. I'm going to start us off in terms of durability. If you were to put this up for display ability, those sails, I've had previous pirate ships, those are the first things to knock down and fall off. Durability from the top of the captain's quarters, where those you have those lights on the back, those can easily fall off. But
Yes.
in terms of playability, when you're playing with this, those are the easiest components to come off. But otherwise, this thing is probably built like a rock. You could drop this thing
It's
and it's probably not going to fall. It is a solid piece throughout. And you also have Technic holding all the cannons in, so that's an added layer of structure. The only thing that's going to fall off, but it comes naturally to pirate ships, are the sails. And if you're playing a battle scene or you're displaying it because you hit the top of your bookcase, because the sails are so tall, um, there is a there. It is 25 inches tall. Try and put it on that bookcase. Can easily fall off. In terms of durability, I'm going to give it a 12. Just because the sales are the first thing that are going to go.
So this one is, I guess, a little bit unique in other pirate ships that I've built. The sails are reinforced with Technic down into the base, so the poles themselves are pretty strong. And then when it gets up to the second component, they are held in with Technic pins as well.
Mm.
So it's not just stacked; they do have some Technic support, so they are a little bit stronger than I've seen in other sails. However, the crossbars are connected to the ropes. So you can kind of see it in that image there. Just the forward sails, there's like things that hold the bottom sail in place. Those are connected to the ropes, which are not sturdy elements. So depending on how those move, the sail can move and adjust, and then the look of the ropes is off. Um, and then there are those light fixtures on the back that can very easily come off, especially if you're removing to get into the captain's cabin. Um, so for durability, I am going to give it actually a little bit lower than Tom. I'm going 10.
10. This leads us into displayability. I started off with a 14. Looks like Josh gave it a 17. Displayability, it's a wonderful pirate ship. I remember mine. Dusting it wasn't the best because the sails will catch every piece of dust when you vacuum. It is 25 inches tall. So you do have to have a decent amount of space in order to display this. The only other thing that I would comment on, if you are in a low lit room and you do not like that overhead light, it'd be a little bit harder to see based on its color. You could always get a
Mhm.
lighting kit to light it up, but compared to other ships that have a little bit brighter colors with browns and yellows and reds and greens, this is really solidly two colors of brown and black. So it's a little bit harder to see in a dimly lit room. It's less of a pop, and that's why went ahead and I gave it a 14 out of 17.
Yeah. I give it 17. It is striking, mostly because its size. If you put it side by side next to the other one, it's definitely going to stand out. It's going to draw your eye. They did some smart things with having gray accents for like the steps on the side and the bases of the cannons to kind of highlight some of those elements, so it isn't just solid black. So that kind of helps an underlying look at it. It does have that little bit of a shine and luster to it, so when the light hits it, it gives it it goes from gray to black, but they are truly just black pieces. So I think that that actually works. But the number of places and the ways you can display the minifigs as well is great. Having the ropes on the side not be actual Lego ropes that we've seen in other sets, but having those grips allows your characters to be placed in a way that looks like they're climbing up. And the crow's nests have studs, so you can put them on the stud to put them, having a lookout or having a the tops of the sails have studs as well. So if you want Jack and Barbossa to be having a sword fight on the upper sails, you have those connection points to kind of tell those stories, which gives it more of a dynamic display appearance. So I gave it a little bit of a higher score. I gave it, I think it was a 17.
17. We have theme representation. Josh, take it away.
It's Pirates of the Caribbean. It is immediately recognizable as a pirate ship, and then once you see the colors, once you see the ragged sails and the characters, it's a perfect representation of the theme. It's a perfect representation of the story elements. There's not more that they could have done within this set itself. So I'm going to give it an 18.
18. Okay. Theme representation, Josh is literally on the money with this. I'm not going to go as high because there's one thing that's very glaring with this set. I think the theme, the design, the displayability, the characters, everything is done very well. You can clearly tell that it is a pirate ship from a distance, and you want to lean in. That's the best part about this. You know that it's going to be Pirates of the Caribbean. There's one downfall, though. What is it, Josh? It's the name.
Yep,
Captain Jack's pirate ship. It is not Captain Jack's pirate ship. It is the Black Pearl, and if it wants to be known as the Black Pearl, it has to be called the Black Pearl. So for me,
that's a
theme
good point. I
representation
didn't
is
consider
there,
that.
but the name is inaccurate, and especially with pirate ships, the name is the most important part.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm
give,
going to change my score.
huh? What do you? Oh, I
Yep,
was gonna give it 15.
I'm going to match your 15.
Okay.
I did not consider the name in the theme representation, and that's an oversight.
Yep. The ship is needs its name. We have part selection as our next category. Part selection. It's a pirate ship. Again,
Yeah.
it's a pirate ship. I don't know. I can say that for every category. You're like, oh, it's a pirate ship. Oh, it's unique pieces. At the end of the day, like if you look at previous pirate ships, like there's only so many ways you can design a railing. There's only so many ways you can design a curved hull. You're going to need specific pieces in certain places. Like the sails are held in with those rounded knob pieces. We've seen that before because you need that to hold the sails in place. Um, we have different uses for representation. So like Spider-Man has his webbing, right? You can also use it as sail guide or roping on a ship, but just in a different color. We've seen pieces like this before in terms of usage. It's unique, but it's not over the top. For me, the part selection, I gave it a 10.
Yeah. I went a little bit higher. For mock builders, the part selection, a lot of the parts come in bulk. So that's great for mock builders. If you want a lot of these pieces to create your own pirate ships, you have plenty of them. The fact that there's 16 cannons, um, that's great to incorporate into your own builds. The sails, obviously, again, we've talked about the how they are highly sought after. There are a lot of sails here. It's not just one or two. You have what is it? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 10 or 11. Sales, just doing a quick check there. So again, these parts are coming in bulk, and I think that needs to be, um, incorporate it into the element in the score. Um, Molded minifigs, that's cool. I gave it 14.
14. Instruction quality.
Yeah, it's standard instruction. It had because it is released under the icons line. It does have blurbs about the movie and about the characters at the beginning with some nice visuals. Once you get into the build itself, it's fairly standard. There are blurbs that we have talked about on the blockcast before about we like when the blurbs are included. It talks about some of the elements that they chose. It talks about why certain pieces were selected, and there are different like just little things that kind of enhance the build experience, gives you something. With this one, since there is clearly a movie that you could watch while building it, those blurbs are not necessarily necessary to keep your attention because you could be watching. But it's solid.
Josh, you gave it
15.
15. I went ahead and I gave it a 10. I think the blurbs are there, but I feel like you could have given it a little bit more in terms of the classic nostalgia of the film. In terms of like you have a gray background, maybe, make it more lively like a pirate map or treasure map, something pirate theme related, but then again, you're looking at the Black Pearl, but you're not looking at the Black Pearl because it's Captain Jack's pirate ship, so it's also questionable. Like, what are we doing? I gave it a 10 because after a certain point in time, when you're just building, it's a gray background and you're just building this ship. There are blurbs from time to time, but nothing that really like hits home for me, and that's why I went ahead and I gave it a 10 um, out of 15. Expansion potential. Josh?
I mean, there this is already part of an expansion. Pirates of the Caribbean has existed as a line already. We are seeing a redo essentially of one of the previous ships. However, the expansion potential is almost limitless here. We still don't have a Flying Dutchman ship. We have the Queen Anne's Revenge. We have the Silent Mary. We have the Black Pearl and Captain Jack Sparrow's pirate ship. But we do not have a Flying Dutchman. Expansion potential there. We also don't have any of the British Royal Navy fleet. Where is the Interceptor? Where are some of the those ships as well? Um, Expansion potential outside of ship realm. There's so many iconic scenes that we've already seen, but we don't have a Port Royale. We have, some of the other ones. We don't have a Tortuga. I think it could be very fun to have, a set that has some of those a larger set, maybe some of those set elements could be very cool. And then expansion potential beyond that, we have already seen a Pirates of the Caribbean Lego video game. We have already seen countless like individual or smaller sets. The gift with purchase was Captain Jack Sparrow's compass. There have been brickheads. This is a theme that's ongoing, but there is still so much that they haven't done with it that I think could be really cool. Flying Dutchman.
I feel like you've said that before.
The Flying Dutchman.
Sounds familiar. Hmm. What was it again?
Oh, the Flying Dutchman.
Ah, don't forget to put that in the comments, everyone. And your full expansion potential points, Josh.
Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and say 17.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, hear
It
me
didn't
out.
save my 17.
17.
Wait,
There you
did
go.
you? I think you changed my exclusive elements point by.
Oh, hold on. Oopsie.
I was gonna say I did not give exclusive elements a 17. Spoiler.
All right. So with expansion potential, I'm gonna look at it from a different timed perspective. Does that make sense? If this was 2005, I'd be, oh yeah, this expansion potential is unheard of. It's gonna be ridiculous in terms of expansion potential. Right now, and I've read that Disney would like to proceed with a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and this is all, rumor and blah 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 in the universe. But it makes sense because look, they're releasing toys, they believe in the franchise, right? Right.
Yes.
I believe in an expansion potential with future movies in the pipeline. But I believe in a slow expansion potential without that. With an announcement of a sixth pirate movie, I see expansion potential out the wazoo where you've mentioned the ports, different ships, different scenes, the British commanders, that the whole enchilada. But unless we get some type of some type of encouragement to provide those Pirates of the Caribbean fans to get out there and start recollecting these things to get engaged and involved again, like besides the diehards, I don't see them putting 100% backing on pirate sets more than every couple years compared to like a Star Wars or a Marvel set, if you know what I
Yep.
mean. So in terms of speed, in terms of the expansion of potential, I don't see it. I see them releasing, maybe re-releasing more detailed sets of ships that we've already seen before, but I don't see them going really beyond it. I would love, and I know it's not going to happen, but I would love to see scenes out of the attraction. I think that would be great. And collecting all the minifigures from the attraction. But we're really not going to get to see that. So my expansion potential is low just based on the notoriety at this moment in time of Pirates that can change down the line depending on what is released. I mean, you could do a Pirates of the Caribbean television series on Disney Plus. It is possible with a whole different
Very true.
character and a whole different realm. But until that
Young
was
Jack Sparrow, like they did young Indiana Jones.
literally. So for me, it's going to be low. I'm going to give it an 8 at this time. Do I want it to be
Uh,
higher? Yes, but do I see it right now? No.
are you saying no Flying Dutchman?
I'm saying Flying Dutchman, but we're probably going to see it with SpongeBob before we see it with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
I
I'm not ready.
mean, that's where it's going to be. We're going to probably see it with SpongeBob before we get with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's a pirate ship. I'll buy it.
Exclusive elements. We tied on this one.
We did. It basically comes down to the minifigures, I think.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Uh, every part of the ship are pieces that we've really seen before, maybe not in the same colors. There's some unique recolorings. We've seen croissants before. We've seen that terrible fish. We've seen pirate maps. Not a whole lot new in regards to that. I do like the coin with the pirate Lego face on it. That's fun. But again, I don't know if that's exclusive or not. Uh, but most of the elements of the ship itself are not. The minifigures are absolutely the sail shapes with the tears and the tatters um, are unique as well. So there's some, but not a
Yeah.
lot. Eight.
I'm right there with you. I share. There's really nothing really different. Yeah, I mean, yes, it's different, but it's not different in a way that we're utilizing elements or pieces that they haven't been used in a way before. A pirate ship is a pirate ship. I think the only thing that's really unique on this is the cannon element on the Technic side of it. and the way the sails are held in place, but that's why I also gave it a 9. Wow. It is
Wow.
time for the wow factor. Josh, when you walk in a room and you see this ship on the shelf, are you going wow? Or are you going wow?
I'm going, wow. It's big. It's over 2 feet tall. We've talked about the size of it. It captures the eye, even though it's all black. There is kind of a mysterious element to that does draw you in. Um, you know, it it fills in the space. It's got some negative space, but with the sails, it helps kind of eliminate that. It's absolutely striking. And then once you get in, um, and see the details, knowing that there is displayability and playability, the minifigures that can be added to the ropes and on the sail bars and things like that. This is a pretty wow set.
How wow
Um,
is it?
this is going to be a 17.
Wow, it's high. Mine's not going to be that high. And you're all probably like, wow. Okay, go with me on this. This is supposed to be, an icon. It is Captain Jack's pirate ship. But where's the plaque that says that? Like we
True.
saw with the Endurance, there was a plaque that clearly labeled that ship, but there's no plaque with this one that says Captain Jack's pirate ship. I wonder why. Because it's supposed to be called the Black Pearl. But why is there no Black Pearl? The only other
It'd
thing
be a
is that
mystery.
we have worn sails, but there's not a lot of detailing in terms of like marks on said sails. I'm not saying they should mark the sails, but I'm saying that they could have done some a little bit more detail in the sails. That's me being picky. I would have liked more breadth in the sails, meaning that they're a little bit bowed, so it looks like it's sailing in the wind. If this was on a dimly lit room in your basement amongst your Lego collection, I think it would wash out because it would be hard to see because it does not stand out with the lighting kit. To display it is kind of hard because it is almost 2 feet tall. Actually, it is, no, it is, yeah, it's 2 feet, 2 feet and an inch tall. That is hard to display in terms of having available space to do so if you already have other Lego. If you just like the ship, then it's a perfect place to display. But it's also tall and it can get dusty very quickly. I like that you can play with it. I like that you can take it off the shelf and really examine it. It can break, but due to the technique, it can hold in place. For me, if I walk in a room and I take a look at this, I'm probably saying, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. But I'm not saying, wow, that's amazing. So in my wow factor, I'm going to give it an 11.
All right.
All
Okay.
right, with that, I have a total point of 175 points. Josh has given it 215 points, giving us a total of 390 points. Are you guys
How
ready?
does that rank?
Huh?
How does that rank?
390 points. I gotta copy this really quick so I can move it to the next page. And with 390 points, moving into the Ultimate Lego Leaderboard, it just ranks above Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs by 8 points. Can you
All
believe that?
right. All right. We have a new top three set here, folks.
That was very close. That was very close. Josh, final thoughts on the pirate ship and where it ranks amongst the other sets.
I honestly, I'm surprised that Snow White stayed in the top three for as long as it did. I'm happy that it's been dethroned. If you look at my rating of Snow White and my rating of Captain Jack Sparrow's pirate ship, there is it's there's difference. There's no reason that Snow White needed to be as high as it was.
It was time.
So I am happy that I'm happy with its placement. I am a little surprised that it ranked higher than the Endurance, because I think overall, from a ship, as we talked about the Endurance, it was stronger, but maybe minifigures. obviously boosted Captain Jack Sparrow's pirate ship. Higher than that one, I think, is where those points may have been missing.
If
And some of
this
the
was your
playability.
list, this would rank two, number two.
Hmm, interesting. Okay.
Tudor Corner was your top set. This would rank number two for you. And for me, this would rank number four. I actually ranked Snow White higher than I ranked Captain Jack's Snow White Cottage, and I ranked it lower than you did. Isn't that wild? This is the best part about the Ultimate Lego Leaderboard, is that it really let me go back. This is the best part about the Ultimate Lego Leaderboard.
Board.
Yep. Because it
Sorry,
really
we're in
shows
a room that
you
doesn't echo today.
it really shows you if you like a set or not. Because I had thought that the pirate ship was going to rank, but I didn't think it was going to rank top three. And for me, it didn't. For you, it did. But
Yeah.
together, it ranked top three.
Hmm.
It's wild. I don't know. So that was really cool. That was actually our 10th set on the Ultimate Lego Leaderboard. In the comments down below, let us know your total points for how you ranked um, Captain Jack Sparrow's pirate ship. Remember, not Black Pearl.
No,
Um,
definitely not the Black Pearl.
no, it
Maybe,
finished
maybe we
today.
will rank the Black Pearl on a future episode
We
of the
will.
Ultimate Lego Leaderboard.
Board. It would rank third today. I gave it 175 points. Josh gave it 215. Let us know what you gave it down below. If you have any questions or you have comments down below that you want to talk about this set, please let us know. We're always happy to talk about it. That's what we like to do here. Um, Josh, let them know what they can do.
Again, just let us know what you want us to review next. We'll be happy to take those suggestions into consideration. Go ahead, like, subscribe, keep an eye on our Instagram as we are going to be highlighting a bunch of new things with the relaunch of the Blockcast. We look forward to hearing from you and seeing how future sets rank.
Exactly. As Josh said, don't forget to subscribe. We have a physical minifigure audience that Josh actively adds to our minifigure studio audience. He actually has a queue that he's lining up all of the minifigures that the people that do subscribe. There's 170 of you now, which I'm very excited for. There was 169 last week. There's 170 now. So we have 170 members in our audience. Josh, if you message us and say you subscribe, Josh will walk you through the building process on building your minifigure, and we can add you to our studio audience, and we'll feature you on our Instagram. So we appreciate that you're here. My name's Tom,
And I'm Josh.
and you have been enjoying the Blockcast.
Hi, we're Lego fans.
Bye bye, everybody.